All right, we're back in the game, recharged and ready to roll. Picture this. Our maestro behind the scenes, Coyote. He's got a fire burning in him, bigger than a beast, all sparked from watching his kin struggle against the tides of time and age. But what's really eating at him is the sheer blindness and double-edged dance of ignorance, both in the ailing and those lab coat-wearing gurus sworn to heal. Now, Coyote's been wrestling within his mind, because he understands the power of things like sirtuin-6 activators. You know, those magical molecules singing the song of youth, fighting inflammation. This sirtuin-6, it's like a guardian of longevity, a warrior repairing our DNA when life throws its worst. It's about more than just staying young. It's about keeping the very essence of our being intact, fighting off villains like Alzheimer's. Then, there's the NAD boosters, the secret sauce to staying spry. Whether you're in the NMN or NR camp, these little dynamos ramp up your energy, sharpen your mind, and keep the wheels turning smoothly inside. But wait, there's another player in this symphony of supplements, CAAKG, a key maestro in the concert of our cells, dwindling with age but not bowing out. It's like a fountain of youth in a pill, transforming fat, strengthening bones, and even putting a pause on those pesky gray hairs. And here comes hyaluronic acid, the undercover agent against aging. From battling diseases to smoothing wrinkles, it's a jack of all trades in the realm of rejuvenation. And what about sulforaphane? This green crusader, born from the humble broccoli. It's a warrior in the battle against toxins, inflammation, and even cancer. It's like a shield against the onslaught of modern life's poisons. Dr. Rhonda Patrick puts it best about sulforaphane, the master protector, especially in our brains. It's like a super cleaner, scrubbing away at the damage life leaves behind. But here's the kicker. To unlock the full potential of these marvels, you need more than just broccoli. Supplementation is the key. So Coyote's been on this journey, a quest for eternal vigor, since his late 30s. And more than a few people thought he was nuts for choosing this experimental science over spending money on other things. Back then, Coyote's ex-girlfriend was like, "What the heck is this nicotinamide riboside chloride stuff you're talking about? And why the hell did you buy that crap instead of some edibles from the dispensary?" You'll notice, we did say she was an ex, right? But fast forward a decade plus, and he's defying the calendar, a living testament to his regimen. Yet, the irony? He spends much of his spare time inside a nursing home, surrounded by those who could benefit the most from these discoveries. But try telling that to someone set in their ways, waiting for the nod from those in the white lab coats with letters behind their name, who themselves are puppets to the puppeteers of pharmaceutical and insurance giants. This whole circus, it's beyond madness. Coyote's living the proof of what's possible, but the world's got its blinkers on. They'll blame anything, the vax jabs, piss-poor diets, brainwashing education, but they're missing the real point. And that is that they've been duped into believing they're just a statistic, a faceless part of the so-called public. But remember Yusuf L's 4 rules of the game from our last video? Rule number 2, public and private don't mix. It's like what Morpheus said to Neo in The Matrix. You can't just be told about the public. You've got to see it to understand it. And that's our task today. We're going to pull back the curtain and show you the truth. Ready to take the red pill? Let's dive in.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned
plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets are true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 Ladies and gentlemen, let's cut through the haze and see the public for what it truly is. Can you single out one soul in that clip, point a finger and say, aha, it's their doing? Not a chance. Sure, you might think there's a singular mastermind, a puppeteer pulling strings. Someone had to write that script after all, but even if you scale the heights, seeking that one source, you'll find not a person but a collective. It's like that scene in JFK, where Jim Garrison is trying to pull back the layers to the Kennedy assassination. And then he meets the shadowy Mr. X, who lifts the veil and reveals some of the game's true nature.
Quote from the movie, "I think it started like that. In the wind. Defense contractors, big oil bankers, just conversations, nothing more. Then a call is made. Maybe to someone like my superior officer, General Y. No one has said he must die. There's been no vote. Nothing's on paper. There's no one to blame. It's as old as the crucifixion. A military firing squad. 5 bullets, 1 blank. And no one's guilty, because everyone in the power structure who knows anything has plausible deniability. There are no compromising connections, except at the most secret point. But what's paramount is that it must succeed, no matter how many die, no matter how much it costs. The perpetrators must be on the winning side, and never subject to prosecution for anything, by anyone. And that is a coup d'etat." End quote.
Now, let's break it down. The public, it's a masterstroke of control, a grand illusion. Think about it. How else to herd the masses but by weaving a web so intricate, so convincing, that they believe they're part of something larger, yet intangible? It's a crafty play, making them part of a creature, all limbs but no brain, save for the select few anointed to dictate thoughts and beliefs. Observe this artistry in the temple of public education. A system that sorts souls into boxes based on narrow tests, blind to the rich spectrum of human intellect. They tout IQ, intelligence quotient, a number claiming to measure smarts. But intelligence, my friends, is an ocean, vast and deep, encompassing creativity, emotional wisdom, and the knack for solving life's puzzles. IQ tests, mere droplets in this sea, tools to steer the flock along preordained paths. But here's the deal. You're not the public. You're a sovereign entity, a soul untethered. Even when the world whispers private, they want you to think of the private sector and private enterprise, dollars and businesses. But that's just another layer of the ruse, because there's not a damn thing private about public money. It's glorified IOU. It's a public charade, a marionette of the central banks. True privacy? It's the right to your own space, to live and breathe free from the puppeteer's strings. It's about finding your own joy, peace, and purpose, not the scripted narrative of behavioral scientists, the majority's medical mantra, or the puppet show on screens, be it the television or the internet. To be private is to be the master of your own domain, living by your code, not as a faceless number in their statistics. If this notion feels alien, it's no surprise. The modern world's grand design is to herd you into their abstract beast, to leash your collective spirit and drag you through the whims of their latest study. How much water to drink, steps to walk, pills to pop. If you're of a certain age, they say, line up for your prescribed probing. They want you to believe you're just another cog in the mass machine. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that narrative is utter nonsense. You're not just flesh and bone. You're a living soul, a player in this grand spectacle called the human experience. Think about it. Our so-called physical reality is nearly all empty space. The tangible world, merely electrical impulses decoded by your brain. And here's a wild thought. Can we even trust these signals? How do we know that what we perceive as reality is real at all? The short answer is we don't. This is the game the public plays, convincing you that reality is concrete, measurable, finite. They box you in with realism, because you're easier to manage that way. But here's the disruptive truth. Reality isn't fixed. It's subjective. A play of probabilities no one can tame. And as a unique soul, you've got every right to live as you see fit, as long as you don't tread on another's toes. Say yes, say no, see the world through your lens, march to the beat of your own drum, or dance to a rhythm only you hear. And when it's time to bow out from this earthly stage, know this: you don't have to come back. Your earthly ties, be it family or soulmates, they'll move on. You're not as tethered as you might think. Plenty of fresh souls are queuing up to take your place, keeping the cosmic cycle turning and the loose production flowing. But what if you yearn for something more? Maybe another round on Earth, or a jaunt to a different world. It's all in your hands, provided you detach from the public in every sense. Your race, gender, politics, religion, even your earthly soul group. These are but costumes in the grand play, not your true essence. As long as you're shackled to these collective identities, you'll never fully grasp who you really are. That's why the realms of public and private are worlds apart, polar opposites. And you, my friend, you've got to make a choice. And this is why our man Coyote is all in on pushing the boundaries of life, aging, and time itself. He wants to make damn sure he's wrung every drop out of his human experience. Our guy is not about asceticism, not in this overstimulated world, buzzing with sensations. AI and the metaverse have turned that path on its head. No, the way forward is to live so fully, so extravagantly, that being human becomes just another chapter in your story. From that vantage point, you begin to see beyond the horizon, to understand that you're more than just the human experience. And this can only be done as a private, sovereign soul, free from the constraints of public norms and averages. So our friends, the choice is yours, and you must choose.